Today, we're going to explore solving two equations using the simultaneous equation technique of linear combination. Okay, let's take a look. So today we're going to look at solving the question, find the solution set for the following equations, 5x plus 6y equals 40 and 2x plus 3y equals 10. And we're going to use a technique called linear combination. And here's how this goes. I'm going to start by stacking these on top of each other. All right, now the work that we're going to do is based on the idea that I can do the same thing to both sides of an equation and the equation stays the same. So my goal here is to eliminate one of the variables. So I look at my x's, 5 and 2. Those are not easily made to be the same thing through multiplication, but I look at my 6y and my 3y, and I see that if I multiply my bottom equation by -2, I'm going to have 6y on the top and -6y on the bottom. And then if I were to add the two equations together, I would eliminate my y variable. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to multiply -2 into each term of that equation. So the result is, now make sure to do it to each term. This is a place students sometimes mess up, as they forget to do it to each and every term. So now this equation is exactly the same as this equation. I've just multiplied everything by -2. So now I'm going to get rid of that middle equation, and I am going to eliminate my y variable by adding these two equations together. Now, why can I do that? Because as long as I do the same thing to both sides of an equation, it stays the same. And since this equals this, then when I add this here and add this here, I am doing the same thing to both sides of the equation, just in different forms. So here we go. 5x plus -4x leaves me with a positive x. 6y plus -6y leaves me with no y. That's why I did this. Equals 40 plus -20 leaves me with 20. So I have now found the value of one of my variables. Now, to find the value of the other, I plug this value of x in to either the x in this equation or the x in this equation. Well, I'm going to choose to do this one. It doesn't matter which one. So 5 times my 20 plus 6y equals 40. 100 plus 6y equals 40. I'm going to subtract that 100 from each side, and I'm left with. And my final step is to divide that 6 away from the y, and I'm left with, and I've just found my second variable. Now, if I want to do an extra check and make sure that these work, I'm going to take this point, 20 comma -10, and I'm going to throw it into this equation here to check. So there it is, and I simplify. And indeed, 40 plus -30 or -30 does equal 10. And that's how I solve simultaneously to eliminate a variable, solve for one, then plug the value of that one into one of the initial equations to solve for the other. Okay, rewind the video, do it along with me, check out some of these other videos on ways to solve simultaneously, and consider subscribing to my channel so that you know when I put out a new video so that we can keep on mathing.